What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. I wanted to break down a trade that the Discord and I took on Friday and kind of go through my thoughts. This is exactly what I do every morning and what I look for as far as setup. So there's nothing to hide here. I'm just going to tell you exactly what I look for and why I took the trade. So I wake up in the mornings and I usually start on the 4-hour time frame, and just to mark out important supply and demand zones. So all I saw was this 4-hour demand down here and 4-hour supply, but we were pretty far away from that. So I kind of left that alone. Then I go down to the 1 hour and I look for any demand or supply on the 1 hour. So this 1 hour demand, I went ahead and drew out, which we're going to write down here. And I'll have to make another video about demand and supply zones, but supply and demand changed my trading forever. Like I'm not going to trade any other style. It's another form of, resistance and support and resistance, but I like supply and demand a little bit different or better as far as the concept. So we zoom in and we're going to go down to the 15-minute. And this is pretty much when I woke up, what it looked like. I drew this trend line out, and I actually took a trade here that I got stopped out on, but I'll show you guys right now. And this is the 9 EMA indicator, and this is 200 EMA. I don't use anything else. I actually in the mornings turn these off, and I just look at straight candles. So let's go ahead and play it out. So we had a trend line form here. I actually got in somewhere around here, got faked out on the trend line break right there. Actually, this was the point where I got in. Faked out, stopped me out. News came in, hit this 5-minute supply and dropped. This is all hindsight, obviously. Look at this huge candle. And just to let you guys know, I only trade gold. I don't trade any other pair. I don't look for other setups. I did in the beginning, and looking for opportunity in all these pairs and indices, and I said, you know what, screw it, it's just too much. So I went ahead and stopped looking at that. And gold has large moves, so if you play your cards right and you know what you're doing with gold, you can make a lot of money, but you could also get hurt pretty bad, so you have to manage your risk. So this one candle, it's not even done closing yet. It's at 1,580 pips on one lot. That's $1,580 within 5 minutes if you were on the right side of this trade. So that's why I trade gold. But this was a news event, and it's very risky, but the setup happened and I got stopped out, so I decided to walk away from the charts and wait for the next setup. So price came into this 1 hour demand, and I had this drawn out before, but look, price taps the 1 hour demand. We have buyers step in, there's some buy orders in. We start to see price reverse, and we start having a bounce play happen. I'm still watching, I'm still waiting, I'm letting the day go by. I'm picking up my wife to go shopping, get her coffee. We go grocery shopping in the morning for her Instagram channel and YouTube. And I started seeing this price action get really tight. So we're talking about candles that were just, few hundred pips, 600 pips. And then now it's dropping down to 178 pips, right? And now we're going down to candles that are closing within 100 pips. So price action is getting tight, right? That's what's going on in my mind, which means there's a battle between buyers and sellers, and this is just an auction of buying and selling. And I view these candles as that. It's an auction. There are a lot of buyers, there are a lot of sellers, and there are points where there's balances, and it's going to break to one side or the other. So at this point, I'm watching price do its thing, and I start to see some very interesting candles start to form. And I said, oh gosh, we got a little bit of a trend line forming. So I drew this out just like this. I believe it was just like that. And we're falling into, if you look, we're falling into a 1 hour demand. Let me make this bigger. So that to me means that we're going to be looking for a long play, trend line break going to the upside. So I was just waiting for that to happen. I remember driving actually and having to pull over. So it touches the trend line, it rejects it again, and I like that. I like the rejection happening. Also, I turn on my indicators and I see that the 200 SMA is far away, right? That gets me interested because price likes to retest the 200 EMA. The 9 EMA is below the trend line. This is exactly what I look for, guys, every morning. I wait for this trend line to form, and a trend line has to have at least 3 touch points, and this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 touch points on it already. Let me go ahead and write down the confluences on the trade. And I do this in my trade breakdowns in my journal, and I post them in the Discord all the time. So if you want to join the Discord, I'll have that coming soon. You guys can look at all my journals of all my trades and my thoughts. So 1, we have a trend line form, which ends up being a trend line break, which I'll show you. And it's a valid trend line. It's very important. 2, the 9 EMA crossover, which I'm about to show you guys. 3, 200 EMA is far from price. 4, we are near a 1-hour demand zone. Okay, and 5, nothing yet. So let's go ahead and let price do its thing. So I'm watching, I actually pulled over already, and I see this candle break. So this is pretty much the A plus, and I'm going to zoom in here. This is what I look for. This 9 EMA crossing over the trend line. That's my signal to start to go long. Okay. And I waited, I kind of got in a little bit later than I'd like to, but I waited for price to pull back on the next candle. And I went ahead and got in here on this candle. Oops, not short, long. And my stop was 1975.47. That's good enough. I kind of went a little bit lower than the trend line and more than halfway of this candle. I'm expecting it to run up. There are times that it gets stopped out, but then I wait and then get back into the trade. But a lot of the times, the setup that I have, it starts to run. I'll pull back a little bit, and there's not much drawdown. But I decided to go for a 3-to-1 risk reward on this setup. Something like that. And then, so I was risking around $117 on $117 to make around 365. So I figured that was a good trade. This is just one lot size that I took on this trade. I'm looking to size up this week, but we'll talk about it another time. So let's go ahead and let the trade play out. So we're in the trade. It starts to go against me a little bit. I'm feeling a little bit of FOMO, or a little bit of emotions, like, oh geez, like we're about to get stopped out. But nonetheless, I didn't move my stop. I let it stay where it's at. Price started to reverse into our direction, which was great. Took a little bit of time, but eventually we broke through a lot of the sell orders and we hit my take profit right up here. I'll let it go all the way through. So boom, we hit the take profit of 3-to-1, $365 secured in the bag, and it was a great trade. So this is this is the setup that I look for every single day when I wake up. As you can tell, this one took 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. So an hour, 20 minutes for the trade to actually play out. But if I can get this every single day, or 2 to 3 times a week and I size up, then I'm happy with it, right? It has a higher risk reward, or it has a high win ratio, the setup that I look for. And pretty much I play off the supply and demand. The higher the time frame, the bigger the moves. And when you're at a 1 hour demand, price tends to react at that place a lot of times. And as I'm inside of the trade, what I like to look for are added confluences as we're in the trade. Oh, actually, there's this other confluence that I forgot to add. But if we go to the 5-minute candle or 5-minute time frame, I use this as a confluence, which would be this 5-minute candle right here is an engulfing candle. So this one candle engulfs 1, 2, 3 candles all in one 5-minute time span, which is in a bullish confluence. So 5-minute engulfing. So that was another added confluence. One other thing that I do while I'm in a trade is I look at higher time frames to give me more conviction into the trade. I was already in the trade by the time this happened, but the 30-minute closed as a doji candle, which is great. This is a bullish signal. What's happening here is price is getting really tight on the 30-minute, which is very nice for a reversal. But not only that, and if we look at it as an actual auction, there are a lot of sellers and there are a lot of buyers, and there's this tipping point where there's so much volume happening on both sides that price comes to a standstill, and at that point something's about to happen. A lot of the times we see a reversal at the supply or demand zones that are 1 or 4 hour supply or demand zones, and this was added confidence in the trade that it was going to go my way. That being said, I hit our take profit. It was a great day. This trade took, all morning for it to, about 3 hours for it to set up for me. And that's been my number one lesson, is to be patient and to allow price to do its thing, and for me to sit back and not pull the trigger so fast. I started off in trading trying to force trades, forcing myself to see patterns, losing money, making money, never really having any sort of consistency. And now I've found this setup to be the best for me. So hopefully you guys have learned something. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. If you like the video, please leave a like and subscribe for more videos to come. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.